for you.
Okay. So everybody, welcome to a new reality with your body. And welcome your bodies as well as your energy as well. So this is with Tara McCallam, myself, and Siris Verdejo over there in Texas today, the one who moves
Yeah.
all around the entire world.
Yeah. Yeah. I am. And I'm going to go somewhere else soon.
You want to tell us a little bit about yourself first, and then we can.
Yeah, I'm Siris Rivas Verdejo, and I have my company, Empowering Light Language Inc. I've been traveling around the world for over 4 months, facilitating classes and facilitating Zoominars and meeting new people and enjoying life. And professionally, I'm a speech language pathologist, feeding therapist, and learning behavioral specialist. And so I get to talk about all of that with people as well, do evaluations, consultations, things like that. And it's been really fun because I get to work with bodies in so many different ways in my business. And so when Tara mentioned this topic that she wanted to do a Zoominar on this, I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. It was really exciting.
Yeah, somehow bodies always come up when we're talking, whether it's on a Zoominar or whether it's just on our own personal conversations. So yeah, it was just one that was waiting to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm Tara McCallam, and my business is called Energetic Expressions. Hi, Rebecca. And I'm an artist, a web designer. I do access bars, and soon I'll be a facilitator, and how much fun. And really every day, what I choose to do kind of changes in my business, and the money flows. And how's it get any better than that?
And we're such humanoids. We keep adding on new things. I don't think you mentioned that you're a life coach too, Tara. Like, it's just all different stuff.
Yeah.
I've had Tara paint a painting for me, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So if you don't like gorgeous, beautiful things in your home and in your life, do not ask her to paint a painting for you. Absolutely. It would be a horrible idea. Just saying.
Yeah, if you don't like energy or anything like that in a painting, no. Yeah, it was super fun to do your painting. It was really a whole new experience for sure.
Well, and I think that's also, it taps into your capacities with bodies, because you're able to express the energy of people's bodies and their beings in these paintings. And that's hopefully what we'll do as well to talk about today, is just all these different ways of playing with our bodies and expressing, who we be with our bodies and being in partnership with our bodies.
Yeah. I don't even know that we went over that, but I think that's a really cool thing that we can talk about, is how we utilize what comes in, what we receive, and how we choose to pass it back out again. So, yeah, it's fun choices. So, I'll kind of start about why we chose this, other than the fact that it's constantly on a conversation for us. I definitely have had people around me who have been contacting me very often lately about body issues. And every single conversation that we've been having with all these multitudes of people, the same theme keeps coming up. This is more than just what is my body. There's something else, like something bigger that's going on, something that's contributing to it that isn't about the food that I'm choosing, the exercise that I'm doing, or what doctors may say it is. And many of the people that I've talked to are actually dealing with things that doctors are saying to them, we have no idea,
what to do with you.
We don't know what to do. We don't know, how to help you. And here's just more and more and more and more drugs. And so sorry that the more things that you're taking are actually causing even more issues. And so it's been a conversation. And it's interesting to me as I was looking at our notes for this call, because I was like, oh, wow. And lately I've been having body issues. I wonder why that started. Not the why, but really mainly I wonder if I was just even pulling some of that in, because I'm so highly empathic that I was like, okay, so if I pull some of that in, I will be able to understand even more how to help people. And so it's making different choices too about how we can show up in the world.
So one of the things that came up with that when we were talking about things with related to my history with all my body stuff and what was going on with Tara is what if we could access, hi Sailor, what if we could access and receive and know what was going on in the world, tapping into our awareness instead of using our bodies as a litmus test and having it flare up red and then green and then blue and then in all of that. Like, what if we could just be infinitely receive and not necessarily have all this stuff going on in our bodies that are trying to signal for us to wake up to something or pay attention to something or return something to other people. So we'll talk about that as well. But with respect to what's been going on with your body, Tara, one of the things that came up too was these intensity, and then how sometimes when there's these moments in your life where there's a big shift with your body, it can almost be like freezing you, like a paralyzing beyond kind of situation. Can you talk about kind of how you move through that?
Yeah, absolutely. For me, it is going to that place of acknowledging the fact that I've gone to a place of a beyond. And then I ask the question of my body. Like, I really get into communication with my body. And I ask, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Like, what am I not aware of that you're screaming for my attention on? And it's different every time. Like, even the exact same feeling in my body, or, not disease, but like dis-ease, like unease that happens in my body. Like, it could be the same thing, but then the second or the third time that it might happen, it may have a different message for me. And really acknowledging the fact that my body is my partner, and then asking when I'm in those moments and everything is going really great, hey body, what would you like to do today? What would you like to eat today? Like, what would be fun? And the more and more that I do that in like the really easeful times, I'm already communicating with my body. So I have a lot less uneaseful times, but there's still moments where my body needs to get my attention, for sure.
Hi, Sweet Man. That's my mom. And then that always, anytime I bring her up and think about her, we always talk about mimicking and what we've gathered from our family and friends about our bodies and what we might be mimicking from our family, so that we can be the same and feel even more connected to them, or that we unconsciously are buying and assuming that we have to create in our bodies because they have it in their bodies. So that's another fun part, that sometimes bodies are signaling to us that we are trying to copy things and habits, points of views, and illnesses and dis-ease in our bodies through our family. So where do we start? Because we're all over the place. There's so much we could talk about with bodies.
Look, I think, Costa, do you have a question?
More in the way of, can it be a bit more, like, it's really intense for me. So I'm expending the energy, but I'm trying to find into words actually. Can it be more ease in the world in this conversation and light? Yeah, can it be a bit more lighter? Sorry, I just really was like, man, this is intense. Like, ouch.
Yeah, talking about bodies is really intense. Thank you for acknowledging that.
And it was like when you BMM, it's like when you bring up BMM, it's like, yeah, like, thanks for that too. It's like, yeah, can we make this a lot more ease and intensity, wherever that is? I don't know how, but just kind of was like, yeah. So
in those moments, so that you're really aware, right? Like, you're really aware. And we can do clearings throughout all of this, but everyone here so far there's some people that are maybe joining us later and we hear this later that haven't done any access consciousness tools.
Totally get
Part
that.
of what Costas is talking about is this energy that's coming up when we're discussing this. And this is exactly can be for some people really freeze. It's like this intensity. Instead of acknowledging it, they start contracting and it's paralyzing or it's freezing them. So I invite all of you to expand, okay? To expand to the size of the room, to expand your being to the size of the building, to the size of the city you're in. And we have all kinds of cities represented in this call. How does it get any better than that? Expand to the size of the country and to the world, and really let all of that energy run through you. And then yes, we will do some clearing statements as well, Costas, okay? Including everything that just brought up and all that intensity. Would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes, please.
All right. Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So, and then we'll mute you guys in between, so you can unmute yourselves at any point on the bottom left, okay? Just to keep the lines clear. But yes, we will also do some clearing statements when it's called for and required. Thank you for asking for that.
Another thing is I was wondering if that is if he's picking up on other people's feelings and emotions.
Part of it with all of us here, I think it's stuff that these questions are bringing up. And then he's also very aware, and all of us are very aware that there's a lot of energy and a lot of points of views around bodies in this reality and all over the world.
And I mean, how does it get any better than that? That we're like this aware, we're this connected, and the amount of things that we're going to clear just in this hour together by bringing it up and having the allowance and the expansion to do that. Yeah. So, are you guys willing to bring things up that we're going to not empower?
And we'll blow it out of existence.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you for your willingness to be on this call and have these discussions, because it can get really intense. Just to let you know a little bit of my background, like I used to be chronically sick. I used to be chronically in pain. I'd had multiple car accidents. I had no idea that the earth was trying to communicate with me through my body. And I was trying to heal everybody around me, and I was this container of everyone's energy. So I had those moments with Costas, but instead it would go really intense, and then it would solidify, and I would get really sick, or I'd be really in pain. And so what would it take for us to acknowledge this energy and awareness before it gets to that point, before it creates that true dis-ease, those limitations, affects how our body functions and how we can be in partnership with our bodies. Okay, anything that doesn't allow that, will you destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So Tara, we were talking about you moving through your space when you were in that intensity, that freezing moment. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because there were some tools that you were using there. You were using the expanding.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally, that we just did. What else were you using?
So another one that I use is acknowledging. So acknowledging the fact that my body has a voice and that we have a partnership, and really another one is the clearing of judgment and separation and projection. And that's been really huge to me. It's like to go into that space first. It's like, okay, so I'm going to clear the judgments and projections, like, because that's what tended, not as much anymore, but tended to come up first, and then go into acknowledgement, and then go into like having a conversation. So to me, it is asking questions of my body, like what is your awareness here? And so I really love that the body speaks back, and it And the fact that we do have awareness, because a lot of times it is that other question, is this mine? Like, is this, and for myself, a lot of work that I do like with a painting and so on, it is specific people that I'm receiving, and I receive them like fully, like I can feel like what feelings they're having in their bodies. And so I kind of go the next step and I ask whose it is. And I don't just return it to sender, because one of my capacities is to ask the questions of whose it is, and then be able to work with people on what those questions are that come up that are not mine. And it's amazing for me that when I go and I have that conversation with a person and I say, you know, do you mind if we have this conversation? I've received some things, and ask them if there's truth in what I'm receiving. And instantly it's gone from my body. And it is a conversation first with awareness and with the energy. Like, should I even make that phone call, or should I even have that conversation? So it's an acknowledgement of the energy, but it's also acknowledgement of each one of us have unique capacities. And it's saying, what is my unique thing to do with this and to be with this as well. Do you have something you wanted to say, Kostas?
Right here. Oh, sorry. I was just like, oh, thank you, Siris. Were you actually asking kind of what I was getting, but I'm just asking to kind of confirm, were you kind of asking what's required here, like what was required to change it? Like, is that what we are saying, or just, I didn't get the like clearest way of getting it, that's all.
Sure. I think each one of us is really going to have different questions, if I'm honest. Mm-hmm. And it's not always the question of what is required to change it. For me, sometimes it's just allowing it. So, I do expand and allow it to be and just acknowledge it. And many times it changes with the acknowledgement. I'll have to say, like, there are times where I ask for the change, but usually when I personally am asking what is required to change this, I'm missing a beat in between. So the beat in between is what the message is and what a capacity is to do with it.
Yeah. So one of the tools that they mentioned connected with that in Foundation, for those of you that have taken Foundation, and Sulma and I were talking about this even yesterday, the day before, right? The 4 questions is, what's this? What do I do with it? Can I change it? And only if you get a yes, only if you get this lightness, then do you ask the 4th question, which is, how do I change this? And so part of what Tara's tapping into is sometimes changing it isn't required. Sometimes it's just, what is this? I have this awareness, and there's nothing else that's required of you. But when you ask that 2nd question, what do I do with it? Then you say, oh, is it just acknowledging it might be what I do with it? It might be being in gratitude about it. It might be asking the following up questions is what's required. So those 4 questions I get why they're in Foundation. They're very powerful. I really invite you to play with them, because so then it helps you to not jump those steps and assume that you have to change anything or assume that you have to do anything. Because just because you're aware of something doesn't mean you have to do anything about it. Including, you don't have to take it in your body. You don't have to try to heal it. There's, all of these different points of view around that. Am I missing something about that, Sulma, compared to what we were talking about? No, right? That's pretty much it. Okay, cool.
One of the things also is like when you perceive, receive, know, perceive, be, and receive, that's part of it. You're receiving all the information, and it's like, check, I got it. This is what's happening. Check, this is what happened. Oh, it's not mine. Okay, cool. And I continue with my life. And yes, if it's required, yes, I can change it. But if it's not affecting me, but it's all information, okay, cool, done.
And then you can practice being an allowance with it. Like, okay, interesting point of view that I just received that, or that I'm aware of that. You know, interesting point of view that that person that has this point of view about their body that I'm aware of and picking up on. All of that stuff. That's just another possible way to play around with allowance and increasing our allowance, expanding our allowance about ourselves, our awareness, and what we're aware of with other people.
Yeah.
I have a question from the chat room. So anyone, if you have any questions, if you want to, like, if it's not quite the right time, I'm also fielding the questions. You can put it in the chat, and then Tara and I can kind of field that around. So one of the questions that were brought up was, how can I open myself to create the resonance with people who want to pay to have any of my tools that I have to offer? So yes, how can we use our bodies and our capacities with our bodies to our advantage to make money and to expand our business? I think that's a great question. Tara, do you want to talk about how you've been doing that with your business?
Sure. One of the fun questions that I love to ask is, what capacities do I have that others would like to demand me to pay for? And even ones that I'm unaware of. And so it's been super fun, and I love the fact that Zulma's on the call, because she's the person who opened up my world to websites. She came into my world and she's like, oh, did you like design your own website? I'm like, yeah, it was super fun. You know, it talked about energy and how I like to put energy in it. And she's like, okay, so can you do that for me? I thought, well, okay, like, oh my gosh, this is an answer to that question to the universe. What would it be like to have people to demand me for capacities that I don't even realize that I have, and then pay me?
Because you were just busy having fun doing something that you liked. It was just, you weren't thinking of tapping into that to actually increase your money flows. And now it has. And now you have tons of people asking you for websites, sometimes more than you can handle.
Right.
Yay.
Yeah. How does it get any better than that? And then,
so what, go ahead, Tony.
I was just going to say, even though like there are going to be things that you already know that you have capacities for. And so it is definitely one of the great tools is sending your energy out, is that whole expansion and expanding out and then trickling the energy back. And I'm really visual. So I like to see that it's like connecting to people and lighting them up, and that like they have something that they're like, it's always an energy thing that's going back and forth. You're not just going out and sending energy to them. You're immediately receiving something back. And so it's like you're linking in, almost like plugging into a socket, and then the energy is like moving back and forth. And it's saying, okay, I have this capacity that lights me up and is joyful, and I want to share it with more and more people because it makes me happy. And I know, like, who else would be happy to have their, my hands on their head doing bars, or, all kinds of things, like, and the joy, people love joy. So that's where it comes back to, like, how much joy can you have that people can't resist and want to pay you lots for?
Some of the other tools that I've used too, so there's the expanding and trickling out the energy after we just do that expanded to connect with the people that might benefit from our services, from who we be in any way, from our classes, things like that. And then also, and I loved your question, Tara, another one that I've used, and I was just talking about this with someone in Canada this morning, was actually doing clearings about being visible, about allowing yourself and your body to be visible and not hiding it. So, we're talking about lowering your barriers and not just expanding, and that also was actually addressed in a telecall I was participating in last week. And it's a small detail, but it makes such a big difference. So if you expand, but you still have your walls up while you're expanding, and you wouldn't think that's possible. But we're infinite beings, and we're really creatively brilliant in sabotaging and getting in our own way sometimes. So one of the certified facilitators that was facilitating this telecall said, first, lower your balls, lower your barriers, and then expand out, and then you're trickling things down. And everywhere that you're hiding your capacities and you're infinite perceiving, knowing, being, and receiving from yourself, would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong,
Yes.
good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds, and anything that doesn't allow you to receive and be in communion with your body with ease, will you destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion? Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And what about your body? What is beautiful about your body? What is your body's capacity and gifts that you haven't acknowledged that if you would acknowledge it would completely change your life, living, business, and money flows? Wow, that was a lot of energy there. Everything that is will you destroy and uncreate it all.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. So there was that. And then the other thing is being in gratitude for every little bit of money and every little bit of business that you do receive. It shows up in so many unexpected ways. And one of the things that I really loved that was suggested to me that I would love to share with you was actually going back throughout your whole life. And I think they talk about it also in the Magic book, the Magic You Are It, Be It book. If you haven't read it, it's amazing. And I'll put that in the chat room link for you guys to check out as well, so you don't have to look it up. But it talks about going back in your life and all these moments where things showed up because when you asked for it, or things just showed up magically, and actually going back and acknowledging that you created that you and your body created that, and it completely shifts what ripples out after that, because then you're actually acknowledging your capacity to create even more. It's like, oh, I've done all this magical things. Me and my body have been in partnership before, and now what else is possible? And so it kind of has this whole exploding expansion effect, because you're going back in time, and just like what we do when we destroy and create something, you live from this point onward as if you had acknowledged it back then. So can you imagine how much more that would expand your communion with your body and your life, living, and money flows? Okay. Everything that brought up, will you destroy and uncreate at all times a godzillion?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds.
And I just think it's so cute because it's one of the things that you say to so many people that I've heard is like, oh, aren't you already being that? Aren't you already doing that? Like, could you acknowledge what you're already creating and then just choose to have more? And what an awesome gift that is. Like,
And it's so funny that you say that. Thank you for the acknowledgement, because I'm doing that more and more, because it totally blew my mind and expanded my world when it's been done to me. That now I'm like, I need to do that. What would it take to do that more and more and more, and acknowledge more and more and more? Because I can't even remember now. I'll have to sit and think. Hi, Marjorie.
Hi.
Who it was that did that, and there's been a couple people that have probably done it since. But it's such a gift when it has happened, when someone says, hey, poke, poke, poke. And you've done this for me, by the way, too. Poke, poke, poke. Okay, you're doing that, right? Oh, can you take a moment and acknowledge that you just created all of this stuff? Oh, yeah. Okay.
Right. How much fun is that? The other thing that you said, too, that I found interesting is, like, when we go and we either expand with barriers up, or we just have our barriers up, it's like almost as though we're like this attractor for all this junk. Like, anything that's coming at us is going to stick to us. And how much, and then not only that, but when it sticks to us, we like go into this automatic like contraction space. And when we're this massive energetic being and we're trying to put all that energy inside this beautiful gift of a body, I mean, does that not hurt? Doesn't it hurt for this body to try and capture and encapsulate like so much potent energy? And then, like, you think about the people on this call and how much like expansion has already happened with us. And so we're already like, okay, like expanding and like embracing that infinite being. So anytime we go to call back our energy and like stuff it in, I mean, for me, it's even more pain. And so can we get to this point where it's like, oh, expand, you know, and like, like, doesn't that feel so good to expand and just let all those particles or energies like flow through rather than getting all caught up in us. Acknowledge us for the fact that we have chosen to expand and chosen to be that, you know, like acknowledge ourselves as infinite beings as well.
Mm-hmm. Just so everyone knows, I put in the link for Magic You Are at Be It book on the chat if you would like to check that out if you haven't already read it, or maybe read it again. I will be reading it again. So the other lovely thing that we've touched upon a little bit is being in gratitude and thanking our body for when things are going well and thanking our body when things are going not so well. Like, you know, like Tara did this amazing thing because she was going through a bunch of stuff recently when we were deciding, okay, we chose to do this Zoominar. She was having a lot of stuff going on with her body, and we went and we sat and we were like, and so what could we thank your body about? Like, what's right about this that we're not getting? And then thank your body for that, because this really sucks right now. But it's like, thank you, body, for this awareness. Thank you, body, for giving me this information, even though I'm not getting what I'm supposed to do with it yet. And having that space of gratitude for when you're able to do everything you'd like to do with your body and when things are not going so fun. Because it's still an acknowledgement, and it still will move you through this space, move you through that discomfort and that dis-ease to consider other possibilities. Okay. So anywhere that we have, there was something else there. What would it take for us to be grateful for everything that we have already judged of our bodies and everything that we have yet to judge of our bodies? And would you be willing to destroy and uncreate all of that times a godzillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyonds. And could you take a moment and connect with your body? And say hi, if you haven't already. We're all saying hi to your bodies. And ask what movement, what type of touch it would like in these 10 seconds. So I do this sometimes when I wake up. I did it this morning. And it just so happened that this morning my body wanted me to grab my chest and just go move around. Sometimes it's my abdomen. Sometimes it's just like I'm in a meeting or something, or in a Zoom and I'm rubbing my thighs because my body just wants me to do that. And I check in every once in a while and I ask body, what kind of touch would you like right now? What type of acknowledgement or movement would you like right now? And, you know, for Tara, we've talked about it, you know, sometimes it's what, like moving, we dance together a lot while we're talking and planning things. Okay, so just a nice little take a moment, because we've been talking about some really intense stuff, some really intense energy has come up here. And that's another way of being in gratitude. Okay?
Yeah.
What are some of the things that y'all have already done to show your body gratitude? It could be today, it could be earlier this week, earlier this year.
More exercise.
You've been exercising more?
Yeah.
Awesome. And your body likes it.
Loves it.
Yay.
So
How does it get any better than that? And that's the other thing too. It doesn't have to be, and we've mentioned this with some other calls if you've been with us, it's not an either or. It's not, oh, my body wants this and so I'll give in, and it's not something that you want. It's not this conflictual tug of war. It's really being like, just like when you talk to a partner or a friend, they have some opinions, you have your opinions, and you say, okay, what's going to work for both of us? And sometimes your body is not going to really have that much of an opinion. It's going to be like, I could take it, I could leave it, I could have that lotion or the other lotion, whatever, I could eat this food or whatever. But when it's a really strong opinion, your body will tell you, absolutely yes, let's go for it, absolutely no, let's not go for it. So what else have we done to be in gratitude with our bodies and show our gratitude?
I ask about clothing. I ask about food. I ask about movement, whether or not to go to the barn, get on a horse or be on the ground.
And so how is that showing gratitude? Because it definitely sounds like you're being in communion and communication with your body.
I honor what it says.
Okay. And then you take a moment to be like, and thank you for giving me that information, or I'm really glad we could share this together, this riding the horses or something like that.
Well, I don't know that I know.
Because that's just this additional step, because you are in you're receiving that awareness, right?
Mm-hmm.
But just doing that one more step of acknowledgement and gratitude, play with that and see what else that creates.
I will, because my assumption was honoring what my body was asking was acknowledging that. And I hear what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can I just ask, like, how does your body feel with that question right now even? Like, how does your body feel with the idea of being acknowledged and being thanked?
Lighter.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's like, I like that idea. Can we have some more of that, please? Yay! Eliane also mentions that she tells her body how grateful she is with her body and that she's grateful to have it. How beautiful is that? I can be in balance very fast when I remember to ask what it is. Being in balance in what way, sweetie? So we would love some more clarification with that. In balance and communion with your body? Maybe? I'm going to wait for her to reply to that.
Yes, with my body.
Okay, with your body. Cool.
Yeah.
And being in communion with your body. So what are some of the ways that you do, Tara? Because you have this amazing, Kostas is bursting to say something. I apologize. Were you saying?
Kind of, Tara's just kind of clearing it now, so thanks, Tara. But when that question came up, it just really felt heavy for my body. So yeah, I just was like, what, like being in gratitude, or I kind of was like, oops, instead of like, ooh. Just that's all kind of thing.
So it came up heavy, and then you were able to expand through it, and then it lightened up. Is that what you're saying?
No, it just went heavy, and I didn't really get expanding because I was like, kind of like, what is this? Because yeah, I kind of went to what is this instead of actually expanding. Okay, it was light, and then it just automatically went heavy, and I'm like, okay, so.
And then we have to ask some other questions after that. So you started with the what's this, and then it's the like, what do you do with it?
Is it that's okay. Is it more?
Can we clean up the lines a little bit and mute everyone other than Kostas, because it's hard to hear him right now.
Sorry.
1 second, just.
Awesome. Hello? Yeah. So is it more that kind of not every question is the same?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. There's not like a set protocol, and you have to really use your awareness, and whatever question comes to mind is the one that you can ask that time. And sometimes you can just be like, all right, what question can I be right now to change this? Or what question can I be right now to get more clarity about this? And then whichever one comes to mind right after that is the question to ask, and see what awareness comes from that.
So, when you were talking about this energy came up of, and I'm actually asking, if I was truly being me, what could I create? Like,
that's a juicy question.
So I just was like, and how does it? Because like, yeah, not even facilitating. It's just like for me, like things like, and I'm actually asking like, what else could I add to that?
Can I ask you a question too?
Yeah,
uh,
actually, yeah.
uh, what
Like,
if, like, what's happening to you, and you're gonna know whether this is truth or not. What if you're walking to the edge at the moment? Like, you're actually standing on the edge of something more expansive. And you're saying, oh, this is heavy, go away, go away, go away, go away. And could it possibly be that you're like being invited to know yourself even more as an expansive being, and it's kind of scary, edgy? Is that
some of it, yes, but that end bit, yes, and that bit, no.
okay? Okay, awesome.
That bit, no. The rest was like, yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so everything that's bringing up, will you
So if
destroy
I
and
was
uncreate at all times a gazillion? Because it's
Yeah.
bringing up, because, I see Marjorie's face. She's like, woo, Nelly. All right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So anything that doesn't allow you to perceive, know, be, and receive what's true and get more clarity with versus what's true for you and what's not true for you, will you destroy and uncreate all of that times a gazillion?
Yes.
Right, wrong, good, bad, pod, poc, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. So some of this might be relevant and some of it might be other people's. And that's part of why we do those questions about what's this, and then what do you do with it, and then what if you can I change it, and then if you get a yes, how do I change it? So you we got to the what's this, Costas, and then you stopped. Okay,
It's kind of just changed and went, yeah.
Yay, how does it get any better than that? I'm glad it changed and shifted.
Or
And so
something.
this is one of those things where these times where we can keep being in the question, and it's not just about any one question. Okay. So again, please expand, everyone, because some of y'all went with that discussion. Woo-wee. Okay, thank you for that. Thank you for expanding, because whoa. Any other examples of being in gratitude with your body?
I used to put lotion on my body every time that I took a shower before I have kids. So after I have my kids, everything was sound so crazy with all the things we were going through that I stopped. So lately, I went back to say, okay, you like the lotion, I remember. So let's put lotion all over your body, and it feels very, very good. Besides that, today was my second day of my 3-day body process class, and it was amazing. So you're talking about bodies, and I'm like, Leno.
You want something? I have. Come and join the party. Yeah, no, those body process classes are amazing. So much like what Sailor was talking about, and I know you're doing this, but I'm just going to ask you this to clarify this point. You're doing all these things that are very nurturing to your body, that you enjoy with your body, that it's this pleasure of embodiment. And then what's that other step that you do that is that's showing your gratitude more explicitly to your body? Those acknowledgement moments. There's acknowledgement of what you're receiving, that information that you're receiving. And then there's just being in the space of gratitude in that way. And sometimes it's not about doing, but I'm just curious about what that has looked like when you have either said or done something that is a space of gratitude. Because sometimes it can be just an energy, like Sailor was mentioning. And I was kind of asking you, Sulma, but okay. We can't hear you, though. Okay.
Thinking, because now I look at myself in the mirror, and it's like, you're beautiful. You're so beautiful. Before it was so much judgment. Oh, I have a little bit of belly, or I'm too skinny, or I'm getting weight. So right now it's like, oh gosh, you're so beautiful. It's like I look at the body, it's completely different now. So I think that's gratitude, and I think that it feels. I was buying dresses today. I was playing with that and enjoying the body, even with the little belly. It's like it's fun.
Awesome.
Say too what an absolute contribution that is. Like, so often we talk about what our contribution is to the world, how we can help the world, how we can heal the world, all these things. And I look at that and being in your space, Soma, like I remember talking in your massage room and just hearing you speak about your body and having this gratitude for it. And that is so expansive. Like it's so healing to be in a space with someone who is choosing not to judge their body, to have gratitude for their bodies, and be an invitation for you to go, oh gosh, you know, I really like mine too. Like, rock on. How cool is that? And, you know, it's the same thing with you, Siris. You know, like we've had this conversation, and, you know, it's a really incredible space to be around people who have gratitude for themselves. And it's my question for you guys. Do you find that to be healing, to be around somebody who has gratitude for their body and what it does and how it looks and how it feels? What do you guys think?
We're getting some nods here. Cool.
One of the coolest things that I experienced lately, I went to Sweden and took ESB. I took the body process class, then ESB. And one of the things now is I invite you to do this, is hug somebody. But when you're hugging, somebody says, oh, hi, how are you? Oh, I love you. But then this time, stay a little bit longer and say hi to the body. Don't out loud, but say, you know, it's like sometimes when I'm hugging now, it's like I'm hugging the being and the body too. It's an acknowledgement of the body. So I stay a little bit longer, and it's like, it can be even a woman with a woman. It can be a man with a man. It's just, you know, it doesn't matter. It's like acknowledging that body. It's like, So now when I give a massage to somebody, the body, I'm not giving the massage. It's like I'm giving the massage, but the body is telling me what stroke to give. And I've been massaging this man forever. And the other day I was massaging him. I said, okay, body, just tell me. And I went to muscles in the leg that I was completely missing it because I connected with the body. So as we like to be touched and hugged, please hug somebody to, you know, as soon as you can.
Even if it's yourself, I'm going to hug myself right now.
Stay there because it's so different now. Because you don't think about hugging somebody, saying hi to that being that is the body. Mm-hmm. You're hugging that person that's, you know, city, star, whoever, but now the body is amazing. So that's an invitation. So
I love that. I really love that idea. Thank you. Because I've been saying hi and adding onto my repertoire after, what was her name? Blank right now. That she's a body process facilitator and travels all over the world. They did this body awareness weekend for Access, and she was one of the speakers. It'll come. And
Dr.
so
Lisa? Dr. Lisa Cooney?
Thank you, Dr. Lisa Cooney. Thank you,
Yeah,
Sailor.
she does hi body. Yeah,
And so I added that on. I'm going to totally add on with the hugs now for that. That's a wonderful idea. So another exercise I would love to do really quick, continuing on with our fun with gratitude, is actually taking a moment with our body and saying thank you or to a certain part of our body, or saying that what we love about a certain part of our body just for a moment. And you don't have to say it out loud. This is about you and your body. And we'll come back. And so that quick moment, what comes up for you and what comes up with your body when you do that?
Space, like this, it felt like I was actually, when I was kind of on the beach on Friday night, I just laid on the beach with a friend and just allowed myself to be me, and it kind of just went to that space, like, yeah, just no judgment, yeah, just space, like, and who I truly be. So yeah.
Is this quick moment? Remember, I didn't even do a full 30 seconds. It was like 10 seconds, if that. Do you think this is something that you could do each day? Is just take a moment and tell your body that you love something about it, or be grateful for your body for something. And if you've already done it, awesome. Maybe do it more than once a day, you know, and really add that in. Because with the go, we're humanoids, we have this ADD, we're creating so many different things, we're enjoying our lives in so many different ways. And our bodies are the vehicles that help us have all those wonderful experiences and allow us to interact with this reality to create all the things that we're creating too. Just an idea, something to play with as well. This went completely different than Tara and I, of course, were thinking it was going to go. Per usual, following the energy.
Not depressed at all, are we?
Nah, not so much.
Hi. You know, Siris, you guys are such a blessing to me. I had such rejection of my body starting from my childhood, where my mom had this really beautiful body, and then when she had her last baby, it went way out there. We've talked about this, Siris, you and I.
Yes.
And then I looked at her body as a child and said, oh my God, your body is so ugly. As a child now, I'm about 7 or 8. And I then created that body for myself as an adult and rejected it every day, unconsciously, of course. And now every day I find myself, because of sharing with you guys and practicing these access tools and listening to Dane and Blossom on a daily basis, I find myself just having so much gratitude for my body and telling it that on a regular basis. And I feel so blessed to be able to do that and to know that there's something beyond that which I created as a child. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Marjorie. I mean, how could it get any better than that? And can you even speak about
Goosebumps.
from that space too? Like, you know, we were talking earlier, so many times what's happening with the body too, when we ask the question, can be a distraction from creating. And so now that you're giving gratitude for your body, are you creating even more?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I am. You and I talked a little bit about the website, and I've gotten that started, and just multiple things that are going on. I'm going to church every Sunday. We give hugs every Sunday at church, and I'm going to add Zulma's suggestion and really speak directly to that body, soul, spirit, and mind, all of the person, and that's exciting to me. So yes, things are really, really changing, and I can feel the energy of the change, even the energy of my consciousness and how it is evolving, and I'm tapping into greater awareness, which I've been, studying and practicing things for over 30 years of that nature, but access has just put the new icing on the cake, and it's really awesome.
Brilliant.
Thank you so much, Marjorie. I mean, thank you for the acknowledgement, but also for being willing to consider another possibility with you and your body. And I'd love to share, if it's okay with you, the journey that you've gone through as well with your voice, which is not something that sometimes people really ignore that part. They don't, it's both, there's all these organs in the throat, and me being a speech-language pathologist, I'm not going to belabor and go into all of that. But here I am, and I had known Marjorie for, I don't know, maybe over a year or something like that before she revealed and said that she was offered a recording contract years ago that she had turned down, and that she had stopped singing, and that no one ever hears her really singing, and that when she does consider singing, that she would freeze up, that she would get really anxious. And so I was like, well, why don't you record you singing for yourself? Just start with for yourself, and being willing to record that and see that and enjoy your voice for yourself. And then you take those steps, and maybe one of these days you'll choose to share it with the world. And then was it like a month ago where you posted you singing?
Yeah, so it was about a month ago, and actually I was a teenager. I didn't refuse the recording contract. I accepted it. I did not have the parental support, and that's why we weren't able to go forward. But
There
yes,
you go.
I definitely did go online, shocked at myself, but you tend to give me those challenges. You've definitely been my muse in so many ways. And you actually said to me, this was after our bar session over here at my place, you said to me, I challenge you to go on here and sing for 30 days. And I said to myself, oh my gosh, I don't know. But
So let's start with
ultimately-
one. Let's start with one. And I don't know about 30 days. I was like, okay, I'll take it.
Right. It was awesome. I thank you so much for that encouragement and challenge.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. So, I mean, there's so much more we could talk about with this and play with this. There's a lot of other tools. We're closing up. We're getting to the end of our hour a little bit. There's a couple other things that Tara and I had in mind to share with y'all that I guess we'll have to do like some other Zoominar to follow up on if that's of interest to y'all. But I really, really appreciate y'all's willingness to consider new possibilities and a new reality with your body. Tara, was there anything else that you wanted to share or mention before we left? I know we had all this other stuff as well. It's been kind of a doozy of a call.
I know that's the thing is we really do follow the energy and follow the energy of each one of your spirits and bodies and everything. And so I'm really grateful for everyone who showed up and chose to be here, who chose to energetically support us, like, because there's all kinds of other countries who are sleeping currently that will be listening to this. And for everyone who did speak up and choose it, the acknowledgement piece has ended up being like a massive part of this call. And so what can we take away for that with our bodies? And I really echo Costa's, when I did that, I was like, oh, my body was like, oh, yummy. Thank you so much. Like, and definitely there's other things, but can we be in question and communication even more and acknowledge ourselves for the question and communication that we be already with our bodies and have more of that. So I'm always super thankful to be in like any energetic or physical space with Siris and with all of you. Yeah, and we cleared a lot today. So I want to acknowledge that. Anything that was brought up, anything that was heavy, we cleared. And on a different note, we also did something else. We also expanded ourselves. Okay, and our reach to the world and our expansion of our communication with not just our own bodies, but the acknowledgement and the non-judgment with other people's bodies. So that's pretty huge.
And one of the things we were talking about with, how healing is it when you're around a body that has that when you're around someone who is grateful for their body, who has a pleasure of embodiment. And what if you were that person? What if you were that person to everyone that you're interacting with, that you could be that invitation to more joy, to more ease, to that pleasure of embodiment? Okay?
Yeah.
Thank you so much, everyone. It looks like we're going to have to do another one of these, so be on the lookout for it. And then Eliane, I know Costas, I will totally let you speak because I know you have something to say. Eliane is in private messenger saying that she's super grateful for the call and that there's some examples of all these other ways that she's also in gratitude with her body. Costas, were you going to say something?
Just quickly, I'd really like to thank you for the call and everything that came up on it. Plus, this might not be for everyone, but lately, as you said, our lives are so busy as humanoids and access and sending off wherever requires for work. Lately, I've just been allowing myself to be, and when I have space, I'll just go to the beach or when I'm up the beach or just, I one biggest thing for me was I was actually staying at my auntie's and something happened. I really just stepped away from the situation. I'm here now, and booked a hotel, and the space that got created for me, I might have not been doing a lot of work stuff, but what just got created with my body and me is fucking amazing. So what came up in the call, I'm so grateful for, and yeah, sometimes you just gotta allow yourself to do that.
And how aware are you? Because you found out about this like maybe 30 minutes before it started, and you were like, oh, I'll sign up. Okay, I'm going to join. And you've been such a contribution. Everyone here has been such a contribution. So how cool is that? Magic! It all worked out how it was supposed to. So thank you so much, everyone. Be on the lookout for some future Zoominars from us. It sounds like there's some more that we could discuss around bodies together. So hopefully we'll get to see you at the next one.
And
Thank you guys for your graciousness in offering these. You guys are just such a contribution. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have an awesome evening
You too.
or day.
Depending on where you are, yeah. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.